Hey guys, I'm back with another candle review, and this time around it's for the 14.5 ounce 3-wick Candy Emporium candle from Bath & Body Works, part of the Sweet Tooth collection from the Candle Day collection. I believe this is actually still online, and it's probably in a lot of stores at this point that you might still be able to find it even into SAS, so that's kind of why I'm still reviewing these. The notes on this read fruity candy, sweet confections, and pillowy mints, and yikes, whoa, this is definitely a weird acquired fragrance. On cold, it's quite nasty. It's just kind of like the cold throw. You can't even imagine like why they would even pass a fragrance like this through when there's just so many other options in the vault and so many other new options they could explore as well. And instead, they release this. It's just quite crazy. And it's quite unscented as well. So overall, this candle is just not really good. But the more I burn it and the longer it gets going, I kind of have grown to, I guess, appreciate it for what it is. That I'm like, okay, I was gonna like just totally like blast this a new one, but I won't this time around because I actually kind of like in a strange way enjoy how weird it is when it gets going. So in any case, that's kind of the summary of the review. But yes, on cold, this is so weird. It's just I don't understand. What you get is like this fruity candy fragrance that's not too far off from like their sort of like snow cone and like snow cone syrup type of fragrance. That's kind of like firecracker pop, and where you get like this like a cherry snow cone syrup mixed with like a blue raspberry syrup type of fragrance. So we had like that blue raspberry snow cone, we have firecracker pop, and we have cherry snow cone or whatever that was. It's similar to that type of like syrupy sweet, like just fruity candy fragrance that could be cherry, raspberry, blue raspberry, whatever it is. That's kind of like the fruity candy component of this fragrance. It's then brightened by a little bit of a citrus in there that just gives it more of that sort of like bright, juicy, sweet vibe. So it's like a cherry, berry, citrus, fruity blend is what you get. And then you get a little bit of a mint in there, but the mint just smells kind of like weird and like medicinal and almost smells kind of like alcoholic and like a rubbing alcohol way. And then there's lastly something strangely perfumey about it in the background, and you just like mix all those together, and it just feels like fragrances that shouldn't be together. So then when you go to burn it, it really smells like like whole heaps of nothing. It's just like truly unscented on the first burn. I really couldn't smell it. The second burn, I really couldn't smell it either. Finally, on the third burn, on the third hour, the last hour I was burning it, I could finally get whiffs of it, and it kind of starts to build up. So I have to say, even when it's burning, like if it's in an open concept area, you're probably not going to be able to smell it that much. So despite it smelling so weird and whack on cold, you really can't smell it too much when it's burning either. But on the very last burn, as you see this footage here, I started picking up more stuff, and it was kind of like starting to like it. So you still get like the weird candiness with the mintiness, but what comes through when it's burning is like there's this weird floral perfumey fragrance mixed with it that honestly kind of smells like a rose type of fragrance, and that's kind of like what's saving it for me. And I'm like, I don't know, I actually kind of like the interaction of the rose and the mint mixed with a sweet candiness. It's just very much a strange acquired fragrance, but I don't mind it. And like I think the floral perfuminess was what gave this a little bit more depth and made it a little bit more different and not just like a plain firecracker pop fragrance. And so I guess I like that. It's similar to like sort of the rosiness that you would get in Strawberry Sparkler, which was from that Giving Tuesday fragrance we've had collection that we had a few years back. It's similar to that in that strawberry sparkler type of way where it's like a pretty candy fragrance, or they have the sugar plum and rose hand soap that's out right now. That also has like a rose mixed with a sweet candy element to it. It's that type of interaction where it gives it like this, like the candy sweet fruitiness has a little bit of a prettiness to it. So there's some kind of like floral background that kind of smells like rose, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can kind of like enjoy this. And it's like this weird, I don't know, feminine candy perfumey fragrance, but overall it's just so incredibly light that it's just kind of like really dissecting it. So yeah, if you really want a strong like candy fragrance, or if you were like imagining like just a straight up buttermint fragrance, or even just a straight candy fragrance, this has just so many weird competing notes that it's just kind of strange. I feel like Candy Emporium, I would think of like the Main Street Confectionery at Magic Kingdom or something like that. So I would hope for maybe like this super sticky sweet, like cotton candy and pixie sticks type of fragrance. And I feel like a cotton candy fragrance oil is not very hard to formulate or find out there. That they could have gave us something like really juicy, like a awesome, fluffy, sugary sweet, like cotton candy fragrance to it. Instead, we get this like really weird concoction of like three types of fragrances that just should not meld together. So I don't know. I was originally gonna exchange this just because it was so unscented, but now that I'm kinda like, just trying to appreciate it and grow into it, I'm like, "Okay, I'll just keep it," and it's kinda weird and acquired, but it probably won't ever come back again, so I'm just gonna keep this one and kind of, I guess, try to enjoy it for what it is, so super weird fragrance, but that's pretty much all I have to say about it, and let me go into the performance. This is the third burn on this candle, and it has the thick rope like wicks on it. It's just the usual performance that you get on those. It gets kind of sooty and hot after like the second to third hour. Make sure you're always trimming them. Deep even wax pull in no time, just the usual kit and caboodle with this. As for the throw, it's very, very, very minimal. I would say the first two burns on this, I just really can't smell much of anything whatsoever, like in the 1 to 2 range. And then like on the third burn, by the third hour, it was starting to like kind of finally filter through the room, and I could get up to like maybe a 3, and I could actually kind of smell it. But otherwise, overall, it's just quite weak. So like it probably won't fill at all in an open concept area, and you will struggle to smell it in a bedroom. I can only kind of like smell it when I first enter the room, and then you go nose blind to it. So yeah, just super weak. Overall, definitely not a repurchase just because it is so weak and it's definitely a weird fragrance, but I do have to say the weird, like, rose perfuminess in the background actually kinda has saved it for me, and I'm like, "Okay, this is kinda weird in a, like, I just like, a strange acquired taste type of way that I think I'll just keep it and write it out." It kinda, like, reminds me of maybe, like, what rosewater and ivy and vanilla bean mashup could have been. It's similar to, like, what that rosewater, ivy, and vanilla bean fragrance is, which is, like, one of those just, like, candy sprinkle fragrances. It's like that, but this one you actually do get a little bit of a perfuminess, so I'm like, "Oh, okay, like, this is maybe, like, my perfumey candy fragrance that I was looking for." It's not at all by any means what, like, rosewater ivy plus the vanilla bean mashup would be if that was indeed a fragrance, but it's just kinda, like, reminds me of what that candle ended up being mixed with, like, a floral perfumey, element that could potentially be rosewater, so I'm like, Okay, I'll just keep it and see how it does." So, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.